welcome to DNA. Today our special guest is Fanzi, and we are going to talk about what it's like to be a fashion model.
I was walking and the belt broken, so the shoe was gone. Every 6 seconds it's another model coming out, and everything is about timing. It's like Olympic Games. I will take a picture every 5 seconds, but I need a gesture every 5 seconds till I have 200 photos. Usually we have something on top of the head. At the beginning it's like you're standing there and for an hour or something.
手模、唇模、脚模。What's the most memorable moments in your career?
The most memorable moments, I think it was the first year of my career as a model. There was the China Fashion Week for the fall and winter. And I was chosen to be the opening model for a very important fashion show.
Wow.
And
It doesn't happen often for a new model, right?
It doesn't happen a lot. That's why I was extremely nervous about it, because I was the youngest and less experienced one in the team. I remember even a few days before the show, I was very nervous and got this anxiety because what if I screwed up? On the show day, everything was ready after the dressing rehearsal. The audience are all sitting by the stage. And all of a sudden we all lined up with the first set of outfit. I was the first one, and the lights are off and the musics are down, means the show is gonna start. Show director assistant was standing next to me by the backstage, and he started counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with the headset, and then he tapped on my shoulder. That means a go.
Wow.
And then I just walk out, and all of a sudden the music is up and the light is up, and I don't see anything but the flashes from the photographers at the end of the stage. I was very, very nervous, and I don't even hear the music. All I hear is like I'm breathing in and out, and I was extremely, extremely nervous. The opening model is very important for a show because that's the one who set the tone for the entire show. That's why usually when the show is end, the designer is coming out with the opening model. After I walked all the way to the end, I pose, I turn around, come to the back, I was like, wow, I did it. That's the most memorable moment I have. I was pretty proud of myself that time.
What was your mom's advice to you when you started modeling?
Keep it as a habit. Don't get too serious. When I started, I was asking my mom, I wanted to become a model. My mom was like, but you better pay more attention on school.
I can imagine it must be super hard for you to keep up with the schoolwork, but also go to many different countries for the runway shows.
So my mom, she helped a lot. She was the one who negotiated with my teachers, with schools. And
So you were a model for about 5 years. Why did you decide to quit?
I guess I had enough. Well, that's a joke. I feel like I got a taste of the most aspect of being a model. It's enough that I wanted to pursue some other interesting goals in my life.
I see. Cool. And what did you do next?
Next, I started to learn diamond grading. Got a degree in gemology, and yeah.
I think a lot of girls dream. They probably imagined to become a fashion model at some point. Do you have any advice for people who wants to become a fashion model?
Being a fashion model is one of the funnest experience. Of course, you have a lot of exposure to those very beautiful clothes. You're on top of fashion all the time. And the good part of being a model is that you have a team on the back of you, and the goal of the team is to make you look prettier and prettier, which is wonderful. It's sort of like a sweet and bitter mixed career. The bitter part is like a model really needs to work very hard, and also to be very self-disciplined.
Not to get lost.
Not to get lost. And the other day I was talking to a friend of mine who we used to work together back in China. He's the chief photographer of Vogue Paris and Vogue China. We were talking the other day, and we agreed that being a model is like the most insecure job in the world. As a model, there's not a lot of control in your career. It's not like actors or singers that you can sing a song, you can even write a song, or there are lines that you can speak. A model, it's all about appearance, and also you have the what do we call it? Energy aura. It's like 气场.
气场.
Right. This is something that people born with. Some training could help, but it's what make you unique. And some of the designers has a strong preference on this kind instead of that kind, but you had no control. Especially this happens in a very early stage of ladies, like you're 15, 16, 17 years old, and usually they're not mature enough to handle this kind of insecure.
I see. Yeah, you need a 伯乐 to see your talent,
right,
and to support you along
right,
your way. What do you think are the personalities that could help a model to be successful?
To be humble and confident is very important, and also be flexible.
Models are all super tall and pretty.
This one,
Of course.
it might not necessarily to be pretty, but to be unique.
I see.
Either you have a very plain face, or have a lot of unique features on the face, so the makeup artist could work on it.
I see.
Or,
it's easy to create different feelings with the makeup.
Right, it's
Different
like
style.
a plain paper.
Gotcha.
And the other way is like you have a very unique bone structure on the face.
Models have to constantly train themselves, control dietary, practice all kinds of facial expressions, and do gyms.
Is this one?
You don't like it?
I don't like it, but it's a must-do. It's also a respect to your career that you have to follow those instructions.
The word of model is crazy, like the film, the Neo Demon. Because you mentioned that the competition is super, super intense, and it's super easy to get lost and behave crazily when you were a model.
It's like a monster. I think, well, for every industry, if the pressure reaches a certain level, it would turn people into like a monster. Right before the fashion week, the show director could go crazy and yelling at a lot of his or her assistants, and also if a model walked onto the wrong point on the stage, and they would go crazy because everybody was under huge pressures. A lot of designers or show directors, makeup artists, they're kind of like the talented kind of people. It's very artistic. A lot of them have very unique personalities. As a model, when they work with those artistic people, they have to understand how to deal with them. Like, to talk to a makeup artist might be different from talking to your agent, which is much more predictable.
Top models can be very, very rich.
Yes, it can be very, very rich, but might not be as rich as those sports stars or movie stars. And being a model, the big benefit is that you receive a lot of free stuff from designers.
Models get to party with celebrities all the time.
Not all the time, and it depends on personalities. Some of the models, they're very outgoing kind, they like parties, and some of them would prefer to go to sleep like 10:30 in the evening.
Anything would look better on models.
I would say it really depends. Sometimes it looks too good on the models.
What do you mean by too good?
It looks too perfect. Actually, sometimes if you see the plus size model, which is the overweighted kind, it also looks pretty. It's more life. When the outfit is on regular people, you feel like it's more healthy, I guess. Because models, most of them are very, very skinny.
I see.
And when we do dressing rehearsals, you won't imagine how many pins we have on the back, or even when at the photo shooting they have to pin it up to look skinny and to look fit.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it's not, it's too fake.
That's the grass always look greener on the other side, right? Modeling career could not last long because it ends very quickly when you are no longer young. So in Chinese we call it 青春饭.
I think it used to be like this, but now it changed. as people started to appreciate the beauty of different age. So maybe in like 20 years ago, the models like career ends very early, but now, well, you see a lot of models in their early 30s, late 30s. They're still very successful and popular. I think people started to appreciate the beauties of different age.
Gotcha.
But still, they need to work very hard on keeping their figures.
Thank you very much, fans, for joining us today to share what the real life is like for a fashion model. It's really mind-blowing, a lot of things you told me about. I really love what you talked about as to be successful, you have to be humble. And it's true in all the career. The models are not only about appearance, it's about their personalities as well. But if you have any additional questions or comments, which I'm sure you do, please leave a comment on our page or channel. Let's do this tradition together. What it's like to be a fashion model. DNA, get!